If there was one word that I could use to describe the Galaxy Z Fold 8 after almost a month of use, it would be experience. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would you start the video with a bland word like experience? But I need you guys to stick with me for a second. Because when you actually dig into what the word means in today's market, whether we're talking phones, movies, video games, cars, doesn't matter. Because when you actually dig into what that word means in today's market, it feels like more and more companies are worried about everything except the one thing that truly matters: giving the customer a genuinely good experience. Look at the video game industry. Companies would rather chase better graphics and higher resolutions than actually giving us a fun game to play. Look at social media. Instead of giving people quality content, companies would rather fine-tune the algorithm to keep you scrolling for 6 more minutes. And of course, the smartphone industry, my industry that I live in every single day. We've gotten to the point where every single year we glaze over useless, minor spec bumps, and half-baked AI features instead of actually asking whether the day-to-day experience of using a phone got any better. Which is exactly why I can appreciate the Galaxy Z Fold 8 as much as I do. Because as someone who has used countless phones over the past few years, I appreciated that it goes back to the one-handed use that I and too many other smartphone enthusiasts love from back in the day. I appreciated the fact that it addressed the elephant in the room and is by far the best viewing experience that we've gotten on a foldable, folded and unfolded. And as someone who has used many phones over the past few years, I can appreciate how it knows exactly what its role is and isn't afraid to lean into it no matter how weird or quirky it gets. But here's the thing, if you watched even one of my videos before, you already know this is coming. Despite every single thing that I just said, this phone is not perfect. My job as a reviewer is not to sell you on a phone. It's to help you make the best possible purchase for your money. And if that means sitting here telling you the downsides so that you don't waste your time or your cash, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, the first problem that I encountered was gaming and overheating. Now, to be fair, light games were genuinely no issue at all. I had a great time running through Vampire Survivor style games and car battlers for hours during the week, but heavier titles were a different story. When I played Genshin Impact, it overheated. When I played Call of Duty Mobile, it overheated. And just about any title that truly tested its strength felt like a recipe for disaster. And that's not where it stops. Heat just isn't a gaming problem. I noticed my phone getting noticeably warm during regular multitasking and even just scrolling through Reddit or Instagram, depending on how much was loading on the screen at any given moment. When it came to photos and videos, especially shooting in 4K, the heat was definitely noticeable too. And I really felt it in the first week, but that could just be background indexing while the OS is still learning my usage patterns. So yeah, thermals are definitely something that you need to factor in when deciding to buy the Z Fold 8. Now, my second problem was the speakers. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but the true problem is that they're weirdly placed. Folded up, it actually sounds great, but when you've got this thing unfolded, the sound is coming entirely out of one side instead of that true stereo speaker that you'd like to expect. Now, my third problem was the cameras. It's nothing close to what you're getting on top tier flagships, even though you're paying a flagship price. And look, I'm not going to be that creator who acts like $2,000 is not a lot of money. It is, and many people work very hard for it. And I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't have to choose between a foldable and a slab if we want better cameras. It should always be given if you're paying top dollar. Which brings me to my final problem: the price. Now, I'm not gonna lie, $2,000 is a lot to ask for this phone. Personally, I would have liked to see this land somewhere between $1,300 to $1,500, especially considering that it's still inferior in several ways to the Z Fold 8 Ultra, which, let's be honest, is overpriced in its own right. So yeah, those are my problems with it, the real ones, not nitpicks for the sake of nitpicking. But moving on, let's talk about the thing that everyone's here for first, the hinge and the crease. Now, the hinge itself feels genuinely premium. Smooth resistance the entire way through, no wobble feeling when you're opening or closing it, and it holds at pretty much any angle that you want to set it to. Propping it up hands-free for a video call or angling it on a table to watch something while you're eating, that was something that I genuinely appreciated and came in handy compared to just just having a regular slab phone. And even looking at the crease, I think it's safe to say that just like the Z Fold 7, this is the least noticeable crease that I've felt on a Fold. You can definitely still find it if you're actively hunting for it under a specific lighting angle, it's there, but for actual use, as you can see, it's not noticeable whatsoever. And looking at it folded versus unfolded, when folded, this is genuinely pocketable. It doesn't feel like you're carrying around a brick, and even when it's unfolded, it feels like you got a small tablet on you at all times in the best possible way. Now let's get into the screens, because this is where the intro's biggest claim needs to actually earn itself. Now the cover screen folded up handles everything that you'd expect from a normal phone without ever feeling like a downgrade. Texting, quick browsing, checking notifications, all of it feels completely native, not like some cramped afterthought. But the real story here is what happens the second that you unfold it. It's the best viewing experience that I've ever had on a foldable. The colors were punchy, the display was bright, and I feel like compared to the standard Z Fold, it was just so much better in terms of experience. Watching videos on this had less distracting black borders and more of a full screen vibe, which was more aesthetically pleasing compared to the Ultra, and even when it came to social media and multitasking. Unlike many foldable phones that I've used in the past, the Z Fold 8 size made it feel like almost every app was nicely optimized right out of the gate. From reading to watching to scrolling through photos to even getting lost in a long article, this is by far my favorite screen on a folding phone, period. Now remember when I said that I love the one-handed use? Well, this is exactly where it actually shows up in real everyday life. Folded up, I could do things like text a friend back while holding a coffee in my other hand. And as phones have gotten bigger over the years, I appreciated the fact that there was no awkward stretch when trying to reach across my screen with my thumb. And in the hand folded up, it doesn't really feel top heavy or unbalanced either. It is a little thick, and that's the nature of the form factor, but it never felt awkward to hold. It just felt like a normal phone that happens to unfold into something much bigger when you need it to. But alright, let's talk about what this extra screen real estate is actually good for as far as software. Now the split screen multitasking here was genuinely useful. I could do research for a video on one side while writing a script on the other, and nothing about it felt broken or improvised. And again, due to the much better size, no apps awkwardly stretched into any aspect ratio that they weren't built for. App continuity when you fold and unfold mid-task was smooth every single time I tested it. And after almost a month with no jarring resets, no apps reloading from scratch, and no weird glitch that I will often get on my Z Fold 7, I would say multitasking on the Z Fold 8, despite the smaller size, was still as superior as the Ultra and the Z Fold 7. Battery wise, for a normal day, from texting to browsing to some social media to checking emails, I'm easily getting around 5 to 6 hours of screen on time with an even mix of cover and unfolded screens. And even if I use the cover screen more, which I tend to because it's more convenient, I can even get around 7 to 8 hours of on-screen time. And like I said before, heavy gaming sessions and extended 4K filming ate through the battery noticeably faster, and charging speed felt reasonable for daily top-ups. Nothing that left me sitting around annoyed while waiting on it, but also nothing that's going to blow you away compared to some of the faster charging flagships that's out there right now. It gets the job done without being a highlight of the phone. Now, I told you guys that the cameras here are very average, so let's unpack what that actually means instead of just leaving it at that. Now, when it came to daylight shots, casual everyday photos are genuinely fine. You're not going to scroll back through your camera roll and be disappointed by what you shot that day, but where it actually falls apart is zoom. I put up a shot from this next to my iPhone 17 Pro Max in the exact same conditions, and the gap is very obvious immediately with no squinting required to see the difference. Now, to be fair to Samsung here, foldables come with real hardware constraints. You're not fitting the same camera housing into a hinge-based design that you're able to fit into a solid slab phone. That's just physics. And in actual daily use though, honestly, it mattered less than I expected going in. I wasn't shooting in low light constantly, and for everyday stuff I actually use my camera for, it held up just fine. So yeah, there was a moment where I caught myself doing something that I haven't done in years. Just having an amazing duality with a phone to the point where I didn't really care about anything else, and I couldn't even think about anything else. And it hit me right there. That sums up my whole experience with the Z Fold 8. Because somewhere in between watching the show unfolded like it was my own personal tablet and folding it back down to slide into my pocket without a second thought, I stopped being a reviewer for a while and I was just using the phone every day. Not measuring it, not comparing spec sheets in my head, just living with it. And again, as someone who has used a ton of phones over the past couple of years, that's very rare for me, and I was very happy with this phone. Now, is it flawed? Of course it is, but somehow none of that took away from my experience with it. And if you've made it this far into the video, you already know that that's not something that I say lightly. So when everyone else out there is arguing about numbers on a spec sheet, maybe the real upgrade this year is something that you can't measure at all. Peace.